Hey, welcome to Oracle Rising, everyone. It's Robin here. Thanks, guys, for joining me for your June 2022 energy update. Okay, so this is really guided towards Lightworkers and Starseeds, the Divinity community, because we're the ones that need to protect our energy the most as we are assisting in navigating the planet to higher levels of vibration, exiting the matrix. So, I mean, if you haven't identified as a starseed or a light worker yet, this video is for you too. You could be on your path of awakening, okay? So I will be using the Starman Tarot card to pull in interpretations from my guides who are present. I feel I'm an Arcturian starseed, you guys, and I feel like I'm really sort of overwhelmed by the presence of Arcturians right now. I've actually seen the starship Athena very close to my home, so they could be here right now. I'm sure they are. I can feel them, but I'm going to stop babbling, you guys, and just start pulling cards and interpret energies for June 2022 to see what we can prepare for ourselves and for the collective, okay? So I'll start pulling cards. I'm being guided to take 3 cards and yikes. Okay, so actually this is a really good card here, you guys. We do have, and this is what I love about the Starman. If you guys are not familiar with this deck, this was inspired by David Bowie. He collaborated on the artwork. There are completely different meanings to some of the cards, and now the first card I pulled for you guys is the alien. Okay, so this is something that is just so absolutely mind-blowing because there's so many of you coming and commenting on my videos that you've just been alerted to the fact that you are a starseed and you're starting to identify as a particular starseed. Starseeds are awakening all around the world, and this is just a beautiful thing for us. Okay, so the alien, it is relative to the Hermit card in a regular rabbit ears tarot card deck. Okay, so this means that if many of you guys have been in hermit mode, maybe you haven't been able to tolerate people very much, you know, you're keeping to yourselves. You don't know what's going on with you, but you've just noticed a change in you. Maybe certain things are starting to frazzle your nerves the way that they never would have. Your diet could be changing. You know, things about your life could have slowly evolved over a process of time, okay? And this is what happened to me too, you guys. I just want you guys to let you know that whatever it is that you're going through on your spiritual journey, you know, I've been through it. I'm sure somebody in the comments has been through it. So let's really stay strong together because it is not a walk in paradise going through a spiritual awakening and realizing who you really are. It's a tremendously painful journey. You could lose a lot of people in your family, your friends, just because they're being removed because your vibration has raised so high that the people that you were associated with previously, you know, in your sort of normie life, they just don't resonate on the same frequency. So people and things start to fall back. Okay, so this gives you the space to explore who you really are. So there could be quite a mass awakening, okay, in June 2022. And this just gives me goosebumps because if you can imagine people that are vibrating higher starting to come into the recognition of who they truly are and embracing that and vibrating even higher as a result, like our planet cannot help but to shift. The vibration of the collective cannot help but to elevate, okay? So this is a really good sign. But I pulled 3 cards, and the second card was the Tower, okay? So if you're not familiar with Tower energy, it's like some like cataclysmic event happens to put you where you need to be. And because I'm reading this for the collective, this is going to be like as if we need another Tower moment. Am I right? I mean, there's like one thing after another, and just specifically in the past 3 to 4 years, COVID, okay? And then Russia, All right. So there is something big happening here, and it's probably going to have some sort of, honestly, my next video, you guys, I'm planning on doing the Grand Awakening as opposed to the Grand Reset. Okay, so I feel like this is a really pivotal moment in humanity where whatever is happening with this tower moment, and it's probably just gonna rock. I'm just getting the world. It's gonna rock the world, okay? And how we choose to bounce back from that, okay? So I would really be prepared for you guys to remain in healer mode, to remain like really uplifted, understanding that circumstances are brought about in order for us to develop. And because you are coming into this with the alien, because you're coming into a higher understanding of yourself and a greater empathy for humanity, instead of being overwhelmed and triggered by whatever, like this looks like a catastrophe, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but tower, and because it's like I'm doing like a collective, this is gonna affect a lot of people, if not everyone. So it's gonna be our job to stay calm and sort of keep the peace, you know, and just be that, you know, love and light and that blessing, stepping out into wherever it is that we find ourselves when this event happens. I'm not seeing it as like any sort of, you know, I'm not predicting a war or anything like that, but do you know what I mean? There were several moments in time where, and I just saw angel number 555, so that means that a big change is coming. So I'm getting some really deep messages. So there was pivotal moments in time where entire humanity was impacted. Okay, so I'm getting examples like when JFK was shot, okay? The world stood still. And then when Elvis passed away, the world stood still, okay? So there are really big moments like that. And then that's what I feel like is going to happen. It's like somebody of sort of a global recognition that has impacted. I just thought of Diana Spencer as well, Princess Diana, Lady Diana, because like her passing away, I remember exactly where I was. And I was at a wedding reception and I heard what had happened and I had to leave. Okay. So, but I wasn't where I am on my journey right now. So I wasn't able to like hold the stillness within me, in order to provide healing to other people. Okay. So I've evolved. I've come out of this with the alien card. Anyway, so this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm being provided intuitively. And then the Hanged Man came out. So I guess that story that I was telling you guys about Lady Diana all of a sudden comes into play because like I see myself as a different person here now. I've like really done a huge evolution in the past 10 to 15 years. So you'll be able to see things in a different way. You'll be able to manage things in a different way as a starseed lightworker. You know, there's very like so many different types of starseeds and lightworkers. This is why I don't list them all. I just want you guys to know that as healers, and you know, I'm getting like bringers of the dawn. Absolutely. You'll be able to sort of maintain a different energy about yourself. And that energy is going to have a stabilizing factor on wherever you are, whatever city you are, whatever like community you are. It's going to have these ripple effects of allowing people to sort of use your energy waves as something to hang on to as if it was physically present. So it's going to have a huge different impact because if you notice that as a starseed, like how many of you honestly know another starseed in your city or town? You know, we are everywhere specifically for a reason, and it's because we're placing a grid of love and light around the world. And then I'm seeing where this event, you know, orchestrated by the keepers of the matrix to rock people's world and to take you down a notch into like what's lower than 3D. I mean, imagine how horrifying that would be. Like, we cannot get that low. But because of the grand uprising of the Starseeds, it's not going to have that effect. It's going to be a tower moment, but it's also going to be a very big recovery moment because things are being seen in a different way. There's too many cracks in the matrix for people not to pay attention to it anymore. And there is a mass awakening. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are still sleeping to the fact that, you know, what we're seeing is not acceptable. You know, starvation is not acceptable. Racism is not acceptable. War is not acceptable. You know, all these things that are just sort of, oh, well, it's just part of life. You know, those of us that are aware know that it absolutely is not okay. And we are here to overcome that with the generosity and the brightness of our souls. Okay, so, woo, you guys better be ready for this, to be able to like kind of brace and take the impact of that, because we are very sensitive people, you know, we're very sensitive to other people's energy, but this is what the hermit mode was all about, so that you could prepare for this. Okay, so I'm just going to pull one more card here for you guys. All right, so this is like a very compelling Four of Cups. Okay, so you can see that there is a character with their head in their hands. Okay, but then surrounding them are all these icons of different beliefs. Okay, so there's a figure here that very much reminds me of Jesus Christ. There's a witch's hat here. There's a hand here. It reminds me somehow of, I don't know why I'm getting the key phrase Amun-Ra. Okay, so this is where our mixed spirituality, our mixed beliefs, they can all combine together to be one really, really powerful point of like fierceness. Okay, because I see where so many communities are divided by what they believe in. Okay, so this is going to fade away because, and you probably are starting to believe in many, many different things yourself, and understanding that that's okay, and that you're able to draw strength from every single faction of what it is that you believe in. Okay, because you could believe that there is a God, you know, or you could call it source, you could call it universe, you could also be practicing some sort of witchcraft or a paganism, which is really just revering the earth, and it's very deep and complicated. It's more than that. But you could also believe in UFOs, and I think we'll just call them starships from now on, because anyway, you know, so you could have this incredible blend of belief systems that you discovered while you were going through your hermit mode. So this Four of Cups, this is where you're no longer able to keep your head down anymore. You can really, I'm going to pull one more over that Four of Cups. Okay, so now you have the Queen of Cups. So this really shows me the growth. Okay, where you have absolutely embraced all these different things that you believe in, maybe not really assimilating all of that, but again, that's where the alien card comes in. And then there's the Queen of Cups, and she's on a very different level of power than where you see this. So I see mass metamorphosis happening, like just taking everything that you've learned during your hermit mode, like all these experiences, all these awakening, enlightening, I'm getting the word factions for some reason, but you could belong to all these different groups and have studied all these different things. Maybe you subscribed to Gaia TV, or you watched Ancient Aliens, and now, and this is a completely different Queen of Cups. Like, really look at how she's postured, like where she's able to sort of birth a new reality. Okay, so this is why we're here, you guys, is to really birth a new reality. So I would expect something big to happen. I see it's somebody that is very impactful, globally recognized, and something could happen to them where they are debilitated or they pass to the other side. I'm not getting a specific name, but I just see that sort of world rocking moment that was equivalent to JFK, Elvis, Diana, like a really well-loved, prominent person that we're definitely on the precipice of changing the world as we know it. And most notably, when you talk about JFK, what he could have done, and also Lady Diana, what she could have done, you know, and they were just sort of plucked before they had the chance to bring that. And now, and look at how many of us are here to replace them. Okay, so whew, that's a heavy one, you guys, but just remember to stay strong, you know, and you guys, you can put in comments that you need some help. I'm also on Twitter, but I'm under Aries Fire Tarot. If you guys want to follow me and like we can talk about stuff, that's cool. I know some of you have been emailing me. It's oraclerising2@gmail.com. Like I'm here to like not lead you guys, but to be with you guys, okay, on the global Starseed Lightworker community, so that we can really affect this change to move up before we take another slide back down. Like, what are we going to turn into cavemen already? Like, you know, I mean, there's some shows on right now. I know I was going to wrap it up, but what's that show with Elizabeth Moss? What's it called? Where she plays that character Offred, The Handmaid's Tale. Like, that show scares me so much because I could see that happening. You know, we're not far away from that if we continue to allow removal of freedoms, if we continue to allow the keepers of the matrix to come up and snatch our hearts and minds and souls and turn us into the zombies that people that are trapped into the 3D matrix are still displaying that behavior. Like, this is up to us. You know, I don't really think there's going to be any government that is going to save us. Okay. This is up to us, the divinity community. Okay. So, whew, that was a lot. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go, sending you love and light. Take care of yourselves.